Okay. Hi, good evening, and welcome to today's book reading session. I hope everybody's having a good time. It is Diwali, and what a nice way to connect during Diwali and light up our knowledge path by reading another book. So we are almost coming to the end of this amazing book that we've been reading, which Garima thinks is highly philosophical. I personally enjoy that bit as well. And yes, at online on the online money book club platform, what we do is we read books on personal finance, investing, habit and mindset building, because it is so important to integrate the everyday actions that we take into wealth creation, and which is why we also include those books. And so glad to have our community members here reading this book and discussing with us. So far we have reached chapter page 200 of this book, The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. And today, how we'd like to begin is by reading a few more pages. So, reading from page 201, and then we shall pause to discuss the book. So, just inviting Garima, are you up for reading some?
I am just sending the book to my laptop. Just give me a minute.
Then, in the meantime, I can share it on the screen for everybody else.
So sorry, I had a chance to use my personal system today, so taking the liberty.
Hi, Raki, Sairi, welcome, guys. Okay, so this is page number 201 and onwards. Okay, so Garima, would you like to read, or would you like what I?
No, I'm up. Absolutely.
Okay, great. All right, guys, we are beginning our reading session first, and then we will pause for discussion. Hello and welcome, everybody. So, reading from page 201 today. Go ahead.
Sure. So starting with page 212, and hopefully we should be closing the book this week, Sheetal. I think that should be the aim.
Yes.
If wisdom could be imparted through words alone, we did all be done here. The present is all that we have. There is actually nothing but this moment. No one has ever gone back in time, and no one has ever been able to successfully predict the future in any way that matters. Literally, the only thing that exists in this exact point where you are in space at the exact time you happen to be here. Like all great profound truths, it's all paradoxes. Any two points are infinitely different. Any moment is perfectly unique. Each moment itself slips by so quickly you can't grab it. You're dying and being reborn at every moment. It's up to you whether you forget or remember that. Quoting Homer from the Iliad, everything is more beautiful because we are doomed. You will never be lovelier than you are now, and we will never be here again. I don't even remember what I said 2 minutes ago. At best, the past is some fictional little memory tape in my head. As far as I'm concerned, my past is dead. It's gone. All death really means is that there are no more future moments. Inspiration is perishable. Act on it immediately. Okay. Talking about bonus. The democratization of technology allows anyone to be a creator, entrepreneur, scientist. The future is brighter. It's statistically likely there are more advanced alien civilizations out there. Hopefully, You are good environmentalists. Hopefully, they are good environmentalists and find us cute. The truth is, I don't read for self improvement. I read out of curiosity and interest. The best book is the one you will devour. Books. Since there are so many links, am I reading the right page, Sheetal?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Yeah, now
Books.
we have come to the section where he has recommended some books, and
Ah,
yeah, we have really come to the end of the book.
towards, yeah.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
explore, and if there are any thing that you think that we all think that the book club could pick up, we could earmark them for the future, right? I know some people have started reading Sapiens already. I have not
Mm.
one.
Read
Yeah.
enough and you become a connoisseur. Then you naturally gravitate towards theory, concepts, and nonfiction. So I think, yeah, he talks about the beginning of infinity, explanations, and he
Mm,
says it's not the easiest read, but it made me smarter. Okay. Then, of course, the Sapiens,
let's
the
check who the other
rational
ones.
optimist.
Then here's, yeah, Skin in the Game is something I would like to read. It's been mentioned earlier as well.
Okay.
Hmm. What
Again,
else?
the second one has the same author, I think, Nasib Taleb. Then
This is there.
we have six easy pieces. Okay, physics. Oops.
6 easy pieces. Thing explain a complicated stuff in simple words. That sounds interesting.
It sounds like there was another book, the world history or something, I'm forgetting, in very easy terms. So
Lessons of history.
I'll find out the name.
Hmm.
Um, it's again, anyway, we'll come back. Yeah. It says kids get right away, so this should be interesting. Complicated stuff in simple words. Thinking physics, lessons in history, the sovereign individual mastering the transition to the information age. This is the best book I have read since Sapiens. So that's quite a recommendation. Poor Charlie's Almanac, The Wit and Wisdom of Charlie T. Munger. Oh, unless you want to do quantum gravity, reality is not what it seems. It's a philosophical book.
He's so much into physics.
Yeah, science, no?
I hate physics, and I'm finding Sapiens. I just read 2 pages and I don't know if I'll be able to continue or not. It was so heavy. All about, but I will try. Yeah, let me see. It was
Then he says, come, let's come to philosophy, everything by Jade McKenna.
clarity.
Theory of everything, notebook, talks. Okay.
I'm gonna pause the screen share for now. And welcome everyone. So Rakhi, Anita has joined in, Meryl and Sonika has also joined in. Warm welcome everyone. How's it going? So we've come to the end of this book, and then the book has a whole lot of recommendations, again. So let's go back to some of the pages we got to read in the last week and share what are some takeaways that you guys have or insights that you have gathered for yourself. I'm just looking at my notes.
I like the last line I read. Inspiration is, what did he say? It's not, it's perishable. It's so common, you wake up in the morning, कि आज मैं ये 4 काम कर लूंगी. If you don't do it immediately, it never happens. So inspiration is perishable. And he's written quite a few books himself, it seems.
I'm just looking at where is it that I had highlighted from the book. They have disappeared now. Let's see.
Okay, so we are done with the book. We just have the acknowledgements and the sources. That's about it.
Hmm.
He's written the best way to have a high quality foundation is stick to science.
He is a science guy, he's like a
He's a
very
science
true
person.
Silicon
I know.
Valley, those nerds.
He's saying just the
Um,
trick is to stick to science. Oh God. And
yes.
science is the thing we run away from. At least I run away from.
Science can be
Science,
really objective as well, right?
I
There
think
can be
science makes life easy, Sheetal.
I know it
There's no
is.
gray
It is.
area
Yeah.
in science.
Very logical but only I don't know, maybe I feel because since I didn't take up science, so I'm so far away from it. I don't know why. I always feel I should have. Kaise bhi kar leti manage, but if I would have taken science, I think my perspective could have been a little maybe different or wider because science definitely gives you those basic logics and things.
Yeah.
Right. But physics is oof, it goes above my head completely.
so from his previous section, choosing to build yourself. The greatest superpower is the ability to change yourself. What do you guys think?
It is actually the greatest superpower. I don't know. Sometimes I think we're our worst enemies and our best friends type thing.
Yeah, I think I don't know whether it's a superpower or not a power or whatever, but I think more than anything, like just doing things with intention can help you change yourself much faster, right? Um, I mean, like I feel I have grown more in the last, like since 2018. That's when I like said, hey, I need to change things, and I have changed probably myself. So like I wanted to change external things, but then I think a lot of it has resulted in internal change. So that's really great. And there's this other paragraph which I really like, it says, value your time. It is all you have. It's more important than your money. It's more important than your friends. It is more important than anything. Your time is all you have. Do not waste your time. This, I think, was like just fantastic because ever since I have started valuing my time, I find like I think in seconds and minutes, not hours. Like if I'm ahead of time for a meeting and 10 minutes are there, there's a lot that happens in those 10 minutes. You guys feel that as well?
I do find myself giving myself some, because there are so many things to do. I always have things to do on the list that you would want to sometimes not do them as well, right? But then I find myself giving this reminder, okay, Sheetal, why are you doing this? Why are you wasting your time? I seem to do that a lot now.
No matter the right time is.
Sometimes after wasting, a little time, your productivity increases after that. You feel, oh, I wasted, now I need to get back to work, and you work super fast after that.
Yeah, but the thing is, sometimes I feel a lot of the work we do is also waste. But if you intentionally say, I need X number of breaks, I'm going to garden, I'm going to do whatever. But like being unintentional, I think leads to waste, and then doing too much of executionary tasks, right? that's also like, when it doesn't result in anything, I feel.
The intention and the integrity to follow through is the key, right?
No pain, no gain,
No pain, no gain. That's right. There's another line from page 180 where he says, to have peace of mind, you have to have peace of body first.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
got the attention.
Absolutely.
Lot of things, lot of one-liners he has, which are very, if you just follow them. But that is what
The word in
Sheetal said.
Hindi is, we have a word in Hindi, satik. So his one-liners are very satik.
Very satik, absolutely
They just
on the point,
on
to
the
the dot.
point एकदम.
Exactly, yes. जो वाकई होना चाहिए, but वही है, for how long you can continue with that and how long you can persist with it. That is the
True.
main.
Then I will throw another Satiq line from the book. Impatience with actions.
I had that open
Patience
and
with results.
yes, I was so stuck. I wrote it down in my office to the diary that patience with results. Garima, just it's okay. Very true, and I think that's what we also talk about in managing, right? Jaldi nahi karna hai.
But impatience with action. Sometimes again you become too patient as well
Yes.
in taking actions. See, this is another thing. Then ahead of that, he has mentioned, so I think these are constant reminders we need, all of us here, we are in the work of bringing about transformation in not just one area, but in many areas of our lives. And even if we are all women who are action oriented now, because we can see that, right? And yet there are so many times that these reminders need to come for us. And all of these books, reading them, discussing them, we just resonate with them, and we forget as well in the daily grind. We forget, and then we need to be reminded, Hannah. And even if when we're doing things, that this becomes a fresh perspective. Okay, impatience with the actions. Oh wow, it's like that. What has he said? Yeah, when you really want to change, you just change. But most of us don't really want to change. I think we want change to happen on its own.
Yeah, you wake up one fine day and then there is a different Garima. That's what I feel sometimes.
Yeah. So, but most of us don't really want to change. We don't want to go through the pain just yet. At least recognize it, be aware of it, and give yourself a smaller change you can actually carry out. The smaller things, the 1% change, I think we often talk about and we implement. It reminds me of that. Anything you have to do, just get it done. Why wait? You're not getting any younger. Your life is slipping away. You don't want to spend it waiting in line. You don't want to spend it traveling back and forth. You don't want to spend it doing things ultimately aren't part of your mission. When you do them, you want to do them as quickly as you can while doing them well with your full attention. But then you just have to be patient with the results because you're dealing with complex systems and many people. It takes a long time for markets to adopt products. It takes time for people to get comfortable working with each other. It takes time for great products to emerge as you polish away. Impatience with actions, patience with results. As Nivi said, inspiration is perishable. When you have inspiration, act on it right then and there.
I think I disagree a little bit with the act on inspiration there and there,
Mm.
because I feel inspired like all the time. So many things, right? But yeah, I just feel like, sometimes what I do is I outline a few goals and then I try to do what is connected to that. But yeah, sometimes you feel such a strong urge for something very specific. It's unexplainable, right? And then like sometimes it works, but it doesn't work all the time for me,
Yeah. And then when you have so many inspirations, then again it's about uh, uh, prioritizing those.
Yeah.
It could be these inspirations are ideas that you had probably been looking for,
Yes.
and you can't. But if you jump right into it, then something else could be impacted, which is what I experience. Sometimes I would spontaneously want to flow into doing one thing. I totally get you, Meryl, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I think maybe that's what he means, like inspiration to something which is connected to something you're already working on.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to be taken a little bit with a pinch of salt and understood well before, getting into it, I think.
Mm. So Siley is saying, I think this book is one of the reasons I'm very glad to have gotten to know this book. Lots of new ideas, lots of ideas that I already had receiving more form and more validation. This book is not just inspiring, but it inspires you to take action. This is my takeaway. Wow.
Actually, I
think
think
overall it's
validity.
go sorry.
Yeah, validity is the thing which you really look forward to. If you find certain things which are already mentioned here and you've been doing, you feel so confident and good that yes, we are already following these things. There are certain like points here which he says which we already do and we bring into practice. And when you read them with such a good author saying the same thing and telling us to do, so that makes a big difference, really. Yes, Karima.
No, Raki, same, on the same lines that the book is, I feel, a reminder or a lot of things that either we are doing or in my case, I should do.
Yes, exactly. Same
So,
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like, I know I have to do it. Even this guy is doing it.
Mhm.
So I might as well start, right? There are no laters. So you have to do
As you
it
said,
now.
age is, we are
Yeah.
not going to get
I mean, I
younger, we
wish,
are getting
but
older. Yeah. Mhm.
So the next part of saving yourself is where he is talking about choosing to grow yourself. Yeah, I like how choosing to grow yourself, it's a choice we make to grow ourselves, a conscious choice, right? And is written, I don't believe in specific goals. Scott Adams famously said, set up systems, not goals. Something system setting up systems is something we learn from the atomic habits, right? That if we have the system built, then if we just keep working following the system, then we will attain the goal. It's
Goal.
the idea, rather than constantly focusing on the goal. Furthermore, use your judgment to figure out what kinds of environments you can thrive in, and then create an environment around you so you're statistically likely to succeed. This is very interesting, you know. Yeah, because the greatest of motivation might not work if the environment is not conducive to you winning.
Yeah, I think it pretty much boils down to value systems. You are very likely to enjoy and thrive when you are in a space of similar value systems, right? Like it somehow causes less friction and there's more synergy. Um, you know, that's why I think you succeed in certain jobs with certain clients and others may not, right?
Mm.
But I really like the line which comes very soon after.
Mm.
which says, I just want to be the most successful version of myself while working the least hard possible. This I've come to resonate with a lot in the last 1 year, I think, you know.
Yeah, I mean, who else wants that, right? I want to be the most successful version of myself while working the least hard possible. And all the work we're doing now is whether they are hard, not so hard, but it is so that going forward is going to be the least hard possible. Right now, we are all building systems in our lives. You know, I think we by now we are learning the way to adopt a new a change in a certain habit as well. And we know that if we know how to build a system in one area, then to some extent we are able to replicate it in other areas. So hence we are able to make life. That's how I'm looking at it, you know. I'm stealing this line too from Meryl and from Naval.
So I see like a lot of people working very, very hard, right? And he speaks about it earlier in the earlier chapters, and you feel like you're working so hard, but you're not deriving the results, or not just the results, the rewards, I would say, more than the results, right? So somewhere really thinking very hard about what are those things that you excel and which can make you really unique in any environment, right? I think that's a good key to achieving this somewhere.
So now I'm going to read this section for everyone again on how do you personally learn about new subjects. Okay.
Which page is it?
This is page 184.
Okay.
We're constantly learning new things in our lives. So how do you personally learn about new subjects? Mostly I just stay on the basics. Even when I learn physics or science, I stick to the basics. I read concepts for fun. This is the key. Read concepts for fun. Okay, Raki? So reading science stuff just for fun. Oh my God. Yeah. I am more likely to do something that has arithmetic in it than calculus. I won't be a great physicist at this point. Maybe in the next lifetime, or my kid will do it. But it's too late for me. I have to stick to what I enjoy. Science is to me the study of truth. It is the only true discipline because it makes falsifiable predictions. It actually changes the world. Applied science becomes technology, and technology is what separates us from the animals and allows us to have things like cell phones, houses, cars, heat, and electricity. Science to me is the study of truth, and mathematics is this language of science and nature. I am not religious, but I'm spiritual. To me, that is the most devotional thing I could do, to study the laws of the universe. The same kick that someone might get out of being in Mecca or Medina and bowing to the Prophet. I get the same feeling of awe and small sense of self when I study science. For me, it's unparalleled, and I'd rather stay at the basics. This is the beauty of reading. As I was reading one of these things, I read concepts for fun, the basics, and patience with results, impatience with actions, and all of this. I'm reminded of the time when I tried to learn how to play the piano. I wanted quick results. I wanted to be like, okay, I sit there for 30 minutes and I'm able to play the tune. And then it also makes me think of how can we make this available for young people, who again, just like us, perhaps, I have forgotten many of the concepts in that I studied in school, and then that's the basics. And why are we struggling? Because we've forgotten the basics. I could never enjoy it back then. Nobody they didn't know how to teach it to me in a fun way. It was not fun to learn those concepts, and hence I don't remember those concepts. Now it just makes me think, how is it like right now, um, or how can that be achieved, that I make learning any concept fun? Initially, though, it just does seem like a lot of hard work, and you have to push yourself. uh, anybody who's experienced something like this?
I think if concepts could be turned into Bollywood music, they'll be fun to learn. Other than that, I agree. I think it is still a struggle. But yeah, you're right. Somewhere, often I also think when Google some of the older things, you know, what's the basic behind it? It's not easy.
I think when the concepts are clear, then it is more fun. If it is not clear, then so you can't do anything about it. Science has never been clear to me. So I was a
Science,
bit
math,
scared when he
nothing.
says, see, calculus, arithmetic, basics, science, physics, something you really need to. I don't know, how can you learn them in fun? I never had fun doing all that. I never. The basic concepts. Now, he'd written somewhere in the book that you go back to the originals. Now, it is the same thing. Even if you start reading Charles Darwin's or anything, maximum things I find are related to science and things like that. I'm not able to, digest that so easily. It takes me time to understand. And where exactly, Sheetal, if you have to put effort to understand things, then you just take a seat back and say, forget it, yeah, let's go to something else, which, just clearly
Lighter, yeah. A
you
lighter
just, you
read.
just go and read it. You won't believe it. I'll just share a very small example, which is real fun. I did my MA psychology first year, right? And we had psychology was like all good topics and interesting subjects we had. One was statistics. And me not being a science person was, oh God, how am I going to deal with that? It was a job for me. And you know what, an easy way I found, because see, my target at that time was just to clear statistics. Psychology I did, I learned, I understood. Statistics I knew कि वो सर के ऊपर से जाएगा, तो you won't believe it what I did. I just rattled all the formulas. That's it. I was not able to apply them. And when I had the question paper, I did not do anything for each question. I just wrote the formula and I passed. So, there are certain things where if you don't understand the basic concepts, you are not able to apply them also. It is difficult to, and if those basics, as Sheetal said, were clear, at the very beginning, when we started learning with schooling and things like that, I think it would have been lovely to understand so many things now. I mean, I feel, why don't they make physics, science, maths, all these things, if they are so, interesting and they're so necessary in our day-to-day life, why not make them just compulsory for everybody to learn? Till 10th, those basics don't help you. 10th is just clearing science. 11th and 12th, I feel the basics, what he talks about, if you actually know and understand at that point of time, oh, they will help you lifelong, I'm sure about it. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I really feel sometimes that basic science, I think we should have been taught in school, and in a nice and fun way, where we could actually grasp all the concepts and things like that now, even at the later stages.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I feel it's a sad thing that we learn in such terrible ways, because
Exactly.
the truth is that physics and science and math is like what we are supposed to be using in our life. My dad
Exactly.
was my physics teacher in school, and I remember he would conduct these quizzes, and he would actually ask us a lot of questions. It was very interactive and very interesting. But when I went to college, I was a physics student, and I did not enjoy the way the lecturers taught. I think they were also demotivated. They didn't really have much excitement. And there's one other aspect. I feel like you learn something better if you feel passionate about it, right?
Absolutely, you
So
do.
there are tons of
Absolutely.
people who are passionate about science, passionate about math. They really enjoy learning, and they're not dependent on whether it's just good or bad, right?
But Meral, tell me one thing, isn't it where you get passionate only if you understand things? I mean,
So,
I don't know,
yeah.
either it is genetic or what. I've
Mm.
never been able to understand maths and physics. If I would have been able to understand, I'm sure I would have been more passionate to learn and look
Yeah.
forward to it, isn't it?
Yeah. You need somebody who can help you with fundamentals. The fundamentals are the most important thing when you learn, these subjects, right?
Huh.
So if you have a good teacher or a good facilitator, and you can apply, you're taught how to apply it in real life there and then it really matters. But now, like what I do is, if I get really interested in something, I get obsessed with it. Then I will be like on YouTube and I'll be talking about it, and I'll be going somewhere and going wherever. Like that determination to learn is there, like, due to the obsession. But I feel like nowadays content creators have made everything easy and interesting. You can just go, like, YouTube is a great
Things are
resource, I
different
feel.
now, यार. हम लोग जब पढ़े थे तो मुझे लग रहा है पता नहीं. I don't know what we did. I wish I could go back to school again and start it all over again.
It's fun. It's
Seriously.
better
Yeah.
now, Rakhi. But I
Much
think that's what
better.
Meryl, he mentions that you need to have that environment as well. So I think we lacked the environment which pushed us towards science or asking. I think to me,
Yeah.
it
And
is.
girls, like, they discourage you. It's just
I was about to
pathetic.
say that, yeah.
Pathetic.
Because boys were encouraged to ask any and every question related to, even if it is 2 plus 2 is equal to what, they are encouraged to ask it, right? I think therefore, Raki, times have changed, and you'll be happy to know that teachers are putting in a lot of effort. At least I see it. I think we all see it with our children. But
even the girls and the kids are much more aware than us, what we were at that time. We were not aware of anything.
see, the
I think
point
they
is,
are
as Meryl
much more
mentioned,
aware.
there is YouTube. So you have a question, you don't have to wait to ask the teacher. Or you don't
You
have,
have the
and
answer.
you just go Google it, you have the answer, and you have better content that is explaining things out to you. But I agree, there are certain things which are considered life skills, and they are coming back in the syllabus as well. For example, the focus on basics of math is more than just pushing down algebra and trigonometry down the throat. So you have to get the basic right, because a lot of thing is so I don't know if I should say this, but computerized in a way. You no longer have to sit and do those statistical calculations anymore, because you have it right there in Excel, right? So the focus now, I think, is changing. But yeah, I think that things are improving, if not. Well, but yeah, the access, do children have access? A very limited population will have access to that kind of a content.
So, among the few of us here, and maybe people who are watching on Facebook, for example, I'm just looking at, now that we're discussing this, it's opening our minds on maybe things that the environment we can create, where the concept, they really absorb the concepts, so it makes me think, how is it that we can create the environment for the people we can influence. Now the system will take its time. Whenever it has to change, it will change, right? And we can, if there's a way to loop the feedback into the system, that's there too. There's so many things. Of course, there's not always one thing, like Raki's question was, but why am I not passionate about a certain subject, for example, or when I understand is when I will get passionate about it, isn't it, is the question that we have. One could just be passionate about general learning, and not subject related. It can also be that. So when I am just passionate about learning, then anything and everything is just an opportunity to learn, then it's more fun. It's an enjoyable, pleasurable experience. As the so many things are there, right? Of course, how passionate is the one who's teaching is also important. I mean, imagine learning it from a Priyanka who is dispassionate about finance, and if we were to do that. So like we see that she's constantly learning, because she loves this. So she's a passionate learner herself, and all of that is there. The other day I was helping my niece with with a poem in Hindi. Okay, and Hindi out here in Nagaland is not so, it's not easy, it's not an easy subject for them. And I said, okay, chalo, I will help you. And then it gave a peek into how the method uh, of memorization is still there. And then she said that, okay, my teacher said I will have to recite this poem. And then I'm like, do you understand it? And she said no. Then I was really upset about the fact that, okay, wouldn't it make more sense that you spend more time discussing, helping them understand the meanings of the words, so that when they see that, they're able to read, understand in the future, than having to rato this poem. What's the point, you know? So ये भी है, there are so many things, ये भी है system में लोचा.
I think those are very,
Yeah.
reasons are very different, because teachers को पढ़ाना है, बच्चे को पढ़ना है. The aim is 10th clear करो, 12th clear करो, be a graduate. That's it. So the goals are different, and it's later in life we realize how irrelevant those things were now.
Yes.
I mean, had I known that I will want to focus on something, I probably would have, I don't know, I'm sorry to geography or history lovers, but I don't understand why, I was taught some war happened a million of years ago, something happened. I'm not using it today, but I think इसलिए रट लेते हैं सब.
That is the thing, that fear sometimes, like for me, the fear I developed for maths and science till date. Like Sheetal said, you should have that thing for learning. I can learn anything. Maths and science, I just hold myself back. That fear doesn't go, because that kind of fear has settled me so much. Till date, I feel I'll not be able to understand. That thing says, it's something tells me कि मतलब कोई फायदा ही नहीं है, just leave it. You will not understand. Either it was through teachers, maybe, one or twice you score less in a subject. The teachers are very great in India. They will never try to encourage you or tell you. They will try to set you up in a way, forget it, this is not your cup of tea, you take some other subject and learn. They will not even try to make you, and to see, everybody is given you, the God has given us 24 hours to everybody. How to make use is your thing. The mind is given to everybody, but they very clearly will say, suppose in 10th, if I scored less in science, I will not at all, even by the teachers or by the parents or by the family, be asked. It doesn't matter. I'll be saying, oh, ये तो इसको रहने दो, तुम्हें समझ नहीं आएगा, you take humanities, you take commerce or something. So, these things matter a lot. Till date, that thing holds me back. When it comes to physics or science, I feel, oh, I will not be able to understand. So my all learning goes down the drain at that very point.
But I think, Sheetal, as you rightly mentioned, I think it's more about opening ourselves to learning more. While Naval is a big fan of physics and math, but yeah, for us, the lesson is be open to learning more things.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
the
think for
basics.
me, I think for me, like what you felt about math and physics, I used to feel that about sports, because like I just felt the sports instructors only focused on people who have like an innate knack for it, but sports is also about fitness and good health, right? So that mindset was not there. But now I have like just told myself that, hey, nobody's gonna hold me back from getting fit or cycling, swimming, working out. But it's been a very long journey to get there, because those things you get told when you're a kid, they do impact you and they take a toll on you, right? But having said that, I think if you really want to do something, then you have to like just be audacious and say, okay, I don't care. Now enough is enough, Abhi.
It also makes me think of how in many places the context goes missing. I think why learn this subject?
Yes.
So hence the importance of the subject. Like history क्यों पढ़ाया मुझे, I also wouldn't understand it, because for me it was like I was not, I just had to memorize all the years and I don't remember anything. But I think what we can help our the children we can influence with is helping them get the context, so that it also develops an interest in them. On Rakhi ka physics, abhi to Rakhi ko koi, maybe she has no lena dena with physics or science at this
Exactly.
right? But if there's a context behind
Yes.
this, then she might,
Agree.
that may generate the interest. So a lot of places it takes a lot of effort to also help someone get the context. It's also another skill. And I know that the context and everything I learned only in the last couple of years, how important it is to get the context, and
Very
then
true. Yeah.
everything. And just the mindset shift is also about changing the context, right?
Very true. You don't get interested if you don't know the why.
Mm.
And also, like, the kind of history we're taught is a very universal history, right? Like, for instance, we don't learn history of the feminist movement. We don't learn historical women figures who existed. And we don't even learn history of our own state or our own culture, right? Like, and then you really struggle because you're politically incorrect and you don't know half the things which have really happened, right, to people. So being a writer, I find it a bit disillusioning about that way in which we've learned, and there's so much to be covered now, right? Independently, right? So much relearning and restudying of things we should have learned, right, in school.
Yeah. Yes. Sometimes now I feel that, okay, when I go to certain concepts that I studied in school, oh yes, ye padha tha, now I get it. It's like, oh my God, now I'm getting it.
See, even related with wealth, we see, like when we talk to Priyanka, I mean, there's such basic things we could have all been taught at school level, right? Which we are still trying to figure out and learn. Very basic. My kids would always say, why not? Why not teach earning in school? Why not let us know what banks are all about? I mean, there's certain things, school policies, the NEP, the National Education Policy, they are trying to make a change, but how long it is going to take and what generation is going to be actually make use of that? It is going to take time to implement things.
It's going to take a few generations, Raki, the rate at which they are going currently. And you're right. These are called life skills. For example, very different. So my mother is a clinical psychologist, and she works with special needs children. So something happened, and we were discussing about uh, whether she was checking the papers, and she was like, these instead of making these children go through 10th and 12th board and then graduation, they should be taught vocational courses so that they can earn their own living. And she's a firm believer that our system is not supporting such children. आप उनको graduation की degree दिला करके what benefit will it give them? Nothing. If they are not able to earn a living for themselves, then what's the point? So there are a lot of things. Life skills are absolutely not taught in our schools.
I think government schools have started that. I think
Now
they have started. Yeah.
But the point
Now
is,
they have.
many of our children, kab hoga wo, right?
Kab hoga wo. That is exactly right. Very true.
We learned to change car tire when it actually happened on the road, right? That's the only time we learned. It's a life skill. How many of us know anything at all?
True. Absolutely true. Yeah.
So I think this is a very different topic. Our policy of education, very different it is. But
we are the helping hands.
Yes, we are the helping hands. And yesterday I was talking about crypto with my brother, and thanks to the Money Gym for Children, my son is poking me, teacher say, no, I learned in Money Gym. You should not invest in cryptocurrency, mama. I said, I'm not investing, I'm just discussing. So I realized, okay, I am enabling him. So I was happy about it.
But imagine if this was done at school level. Oh, how many kids would have learned so many things? And the
Exactly.
finances we talk about, that how many parents are open about it. I think then things would have, the whole scenario would have changed with the teachers, a separate subject talking about all these life skills, how to just deposit the money in the bank. I didn't know that. There are many things which you actually know, which are the daily needs. We need to know all that. Nahi karate yaar. Wo economics as a subject, they will teach you very
Which is
nicely.
why it is a scary, Rakhi, right? Because nobody teaches us why macro, why microeconomics is important.
Again, the context, what
It's
Sheetal said, we
only
need to
when,
learn with the
correct.
context. Yes.
It's only when I came across this group and whatever 3-4 years ago, that's when I realized that it is not so complicated. I was just scared of
Okay.
finances. So yeah, I think we need to do, like Sheetal said, our bit.
Yeah.
We are each of us is doing our bit in educating the immediate circle, the children, the young minds who are coming up. And
Yes.
yes, and whenever we have an opportunity, we keep sending feedback to whichever system needs that feedback, and while we keep recreating our context and then learning new stuff. Okay. Do share your recommendations for the next read. I would have loved to recommend The Joys of Compounding. I haven't really read it. It's a pretty huge book, but we need to get the ebook, the PDF. But other recommendations are also open. Please share, and then tomorrow we'll announce a new book. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you all for joining today's discussion. We complete here. This was a pleasant and a surprising book, I think, for everyone.
Surprising, yes.
Refreshing, very refreshing, right?
Refreshing.
It was like a yes.
And we'll see you in the book club and in the community. So keep coming, keep learning, guys.
Yes.
Lots of love. Happy times ahead.
Yes. Happy
Thank
weekend, everyone.
you.
Take
Bye.
care.
Love back
Bye.
to you. Bye, everyone. Have a good
Bye-bye.
weekend.
Take care. Bye.